Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whichever time of the day you are viewing this. My name is Michael Meredith, and today I'm going to be talking about gender in sports. So, until recently, the sports world was completely dominated and completely revolved around males. Females were really discouraged from participating in sports. They were viewed as invaders into the sports world whenever they tried or actually did participate in sports. Many times females were told not to participate because it would create an unfeminine body or sports would damage their reproductive organs, both of which are untrue myths. And they were really only allowed, or the only sports in which females were accepted were ones that emphasized grace and beauty. And you think of like synchronized swimming or like swimming, stuff like that. And even then, females really had to be covered up. Everything was a one piece. There was no two pieces. You had to be covered up and cover your body. That is until Title IX, which was passed in 1972. And Title IX really completely changed the layout and the format of female participation in sports. So Title IX stated that no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. So when Title IX was first passed, many people agreed with it in terms of the classroom and its application to the classroom, but when it applied to sports, many people resisted it, mainly males. And those objecting to Title IX claimed that mandating equity was unfair simply because males were naturally suited for sports and females were not. So when you look at the history of the Olympics, events have consistently outnumbered events for women throughout the whole history of the Olympics. However, progress has been made. When you compare the 1908 Olympics to the 2012 Olympics, in terms of events for men and women, in 1908, there were 106 events for men and only 4 events for women. That is crazy, 4 events. And in 2012, there was 170 events for men and 132 events for women. So you can see just how far equality in sports for men and women, like we really have come, we've came a long way. You can also look at the number of female athletes. So taking into account the number of athletes in the Olympics has increased greatly. But when you compare 1964 Olympics to 2012 Olympics, in 1964 there was only 678 female athletes, under 1,000. And in 2012 there was 4,362. So like I said, progress is being made. But still, sports are male-dominated and male-centered. There's no doubt about that. There's a very small amount of women that hold coaching and administrative job titles, and most women are not even considered for coaching jobs on men's teams, like hardly ever. One we talked about in class was Pat Summitt for Tennessee men's, and I didn't even know that until we talked about it. I can't even think of any others head coaches that are female for men's teams. I don't know if there are any. Sorry, I digress. In fact, men coach the majority of women's teams, which is kind of crazy. I would think that that women would coach the majority, or at least be like 50-50 or close to it, but apparently men coach the majority of women's teams. And we still have such a long way to come in equality. We have came a long way, but we haven't arrived. Like, it is not equal. We still have a ways to go for gender equality in sports. Coaching, like we just talked about, is one thing for sure. Women need to be considered more or given more resources and opportunities like men are, not doubted as much. And the fact that women still deal with sexual assault is absolutely ridiculous. That discourages so many women from going out and trying to get jobs in like a sports role and stuff like that. And that's really crazy that that's still an issue in 2018. But really, like, our call to action as a society has to be to encourage women, like, to strive for their goals and accomplish their desires in life and what they want to do. And really to get out there, and once that starts happening, we can roll the ball on changing the traditional gender ideology that surrounds sports. Thank you.